people forget that this is like this is where we do our thing.
This is our office.
This is our office.
And people come in here, and they sleep, and they eat their snacks.
And we want them to.
I'm okay with the people sleeping in here.
Yeah.
The people that leave their snacks opened up,
that's rude.
don't finish it. That's a problem. That's an issue.
And then steal camera
lenses.
Because
the cleaning people also leave their stuff in here.
Yeah.
Again, don't mind.
Don't mind, please.
But then it reflects poorly on us.
Yeah.
Anyway, that has nothing to do with it. But that's our intro, so who cares?
That's the most 2016 thing that one can run into.
Exactly.
These days.
That was a crappy year.
Top 10 of 2016. First year we have 2 documentaries on the list.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Also, first list we've had a double tie.
Ooh, double tie.
This is a top 10, but there are 12 movies on the list.
Oh, you didn't do the thing where you just ruled the one that you wanted?
No. Well,
put the other one
Jeff Nichols has 2 movies this year, so might as well just talk about both of them.
That's true.
And then number 9 was technically tied, but I wanted to talk about OJ since the documentary came out, and also he died recently, so it's like, why not talk about it?
Sure. Is that number 10?
That's number 10.
Okay, cool.
Like 463 minutes.
Mm-hmm. It's a riveting 463 minutes.
It is technically, I guess it was in theaters and it was nominated for an Oscar.
I think it won.
Yeah.
It won the Oscar.
So it is a movie.
Haven't seen it.
If anyone's mad at us for putting it on here, it's a movie.
Won an Academy Award movie.
If you don't know, it literally goes into every single topic possible about OJ and everything around the murder, Kato Kalin, everybody.
It like lays up literally every piece of context that you need for why it was such a sensation.
It also goes over the LAPD racism that was very prevalent in the early 90s, which played a huge part in the trial, which, you know, you can have your arguments of whether he did it or not. Most likely did it.
Yeah, I mean...
but he was acquitted of it.
Yep.
So it's like... Anyways, regardless of it, it's just really fascinating. And if you don't know anything about OJ, I guarantee you people are streaming this right now and watching it.
I think it was in the top 10 Netflix last week when he passed away. But
I need to go watch it. I haven't seen it. That's just a long time. That's just a lot of... Same reason why I haven't seen The Last Dance either.
But also, you were both babies when it happened.
I technically wasn't born until the trial.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Also, here's... It's not the same year that the FX show. There was a real big year, or like it was like within like 9 months of each other.
Yeah.
And honestly, I didn't finish that either.
It's super good too.
Number 9, our first tie, we have Sing Street and Hell or High Water, 2 completely different movies. Chris Pine, Ben Foster, Jeff Bridges, a couple other people that are kind of getting bigger. It's just 2 bros robbing banks. They get a little overzealous, and then the sheriffs are after them, or the Texas police or whatever they call their
Rangers
or something. Yeah,
Rangers.
Walker, Texas Ranger.
That guy.
No, he's not in it. But anyways, it's just really, really, really good.
It is really good.
Neo-Western.
Yeah, and if we could have one of these movies a year, I would die happy. They're so good. Ben Foster, once again, playing the absolute craziest person, and it rules. Chris Pine, maybe best performance.
Maybe best performance, up there with his Dungeons and Dragons.
He's great. Up there with his Spider-Man and his and his Wish character. Yeah.
And then Sing Street.
I watched it recently, and it is like dopamine. The movie. It is so happy, and it just makes you feel good and make you cry, and it's got a good soundtrack. And
it does it's got a really great fake band.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's original songs for the most part. But.
So, and the thing is, I cannot remember his name either, but this is the guy who did Once. He did Begin Again. Oh, this is kind of like he's made his newest movie is a music movie too, but this is kind of like the end. What people thought was going to be the end of his kind of music.
Highly recommend.
It may be on Netflix.
I think so. I watched it on.
It was on Netflix for a long time.
It's true. It's out there. You can find it.
Yeah, go check it out.
Go to Hoopla.
Oh yeah, let's push the library as much as we can.
Talking about a movie that makes you cry, Swiss Army Man. This is the Daniels. This is Everything Everywhere All at Once. Yeah. And it's just as insane as that one. Harry Potter's in this movie.
He is.
Not Daniel Radcliffe.
And the Riddler.
And the Riddler, yes.
Paul Dano.
Daniel Radcliffe does not say a single line in this movie. Also, he's a farting corpse.
Yeah, I was like, I know it as the farting corpse movie.
Yeah.
Basically, Paul Dano's character goes insane. I won't spoil it any further. Yeah. But he becomes friends with a farting corpse.
Yeah.
It is Castaway, but if it went buck wild.
Yeah, and that corpse can do anything.
Literally anything.
Help build you a house. Yeah.
Can be your speedboat.
Speedboat, yes. Man,
with the power of his farts.
But yeah, the ending just absolutely destroys you.
Yeah, it is great. It's up there with everything. Number 7, we have our other documentary, 13th, which is about the 13th Amendment, directed by Ava DuVernay. If you haven't watched this basically opened up everybody's eyes to the 13th Amendment, which some argue, which the documentary argues, that still allows slavery, but with prisoners. And so it talks about how slavery ended and then how it slowly morphed into sort of like using prisoners as basically they get paid a slave wage. They get paid what, like, I don't know, it varies from state to state, but it's like 30 cents an hour for work, which is, prisoner, you got to do your time, but at the same time, it's like still human.
Yeah.
And so the whole documentary is explaining slavery and how it still kind of exists today. It's just a really great documentary. And also you learn history at the same time. Yeah.
This one also nominated, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, people were mad that it didn't win.
I think was it one of those like Netflix things? Like it was early Netflix, but you don't want to give Netflix.
Yeah, Oscars still had some vengeance toward Netflix. So. It still does to this day, the Oscar voters, but at some point, one of them is going to win Best Picture.
You're saying Maestro should have won Best Picture.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. How'd you know? Number 6, we have an animated movie. There's a lot of animated movies from this year we could put on here.
Are people going to be mad that we didn't pick Moana?
This is not Moana. I think it was a toss-up because I was like Zootopia, Moana. Zootopia won out just because I don't know. Maybe I could put Moana on the list too. You know what? We got another tie.
Whoa.
Zootopia and Moana.
This is like first time in video history that we've added a movie.
I'm just thinking about it now. I'm like, Moana is such a cultural thing that impacted just all the kids talk about Moana. Yeah. They won't shut up about it. But they also won't shut up about Zootopia either. Yeah. The only difference is Moana gets streamed a whole lot more. Whew. But I think Zootopia is the better movie.
For some reason, Zootopia has like a big internet presence too. Like I don't have lots of memes. Like I don't have kids, so I don't know how big of a. I'm sure you guys watch it all the time with Moana. You watch Moana a lot.
The songs a lot.
You hear a lot of Moana, yeah.
There it is.
Moana, and I heard someone say this recently, Moana is an easy watch.
Yes.
And that's what makes it so easy to stream. Mm-hmm. And it's just not one that like makes you want to bang your head against the wall after watching it 10 to 15 times. It's still a great movie. I wonder what our thoughts will be on Moana once Moana 2 comes out. Same thing with Zootopia, because we are getting sequels to both. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But Zootopia, I think Zootopia is Lethal Weapon kind of. It's like, and that's what not even
Lethal Weapon for kids.
It's like it's that buddy cop, and I think, listen, we're all guys here, and maybe that's what we draw to more. But I just think I love a world building too. Right. Moana has great world building, but like Zootopia, you're like, this is interesting.
They set up a lot of cool
things, and it's just fun.
Number 5, we go to the Jeff Nichols movies, Midnight Special and Loving. Midnight Special is basically like him doing his Spielberg in his own cool, different way. And, well, also E.T. He does E.T. his own way. And then Loving is about the landmark decision to allow interracial marriage. Yeah. Great acting in Loving. Great acting in Midnight Special. I think more people have seen Loving than they have Midnight Special.
And we've done our due diligence, I think, on Midnight Special. Yeah. We dedicated like a chunk of a video to
A
it.
sci-fi, underrated sci-fi.
Underrated sci-fi. Yeah. So, but yeah. And Joel Edgerton just
In both of them, yeah.
crushing it in both.
Adam Driver in Midnight Special.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Midnight Special is one of those movies that I think 10 to 15 years from now, when Twitter finally is like, oh, I don't know if Twitter will still exist by then. When social media will be like, oh, Jeff Nichols, he's the dude. He's got it.
He's the guy.
They'll
He is
come
him,
back,
as they say, as the kids say.
They'll come back to Midnight Special and it'll get like its resurgence.
Yeah.
Like how certain things online do.
That would be pretty sweet.
I think it's just real crazy with Even Loving that like it gets one nomination for
Which
Ruth.
is
Wild.
Yeah.
But also I just don't know if like it's just weird that the Academy or that Hollywood is kind of like not fully on board with Nichols, and maybe that changes with the Bike Rider.
Yeah.
But I just don't know, because the Bike Rider feels a little bit like that. When you see it this year, it feels a little still like outside of Hollywood.
Yeah.
And which we dig. We love that.
I liked it a lot.
But yeah, it's interesting, like what is it gonna take for him to kind of like break through and be like, oh yeah, this dude is legit, you know?
Yeah.
I hope it's Bike Riders. It should have been Loving. Like that should have been like the
Yeah.
biggest, like, oh my God. But
The top four, which I say is probably like another echelon of movies.
Yeah.
We're going to start with The Nice Guys,
Oh
which is, Shane Black's. I think we've talked about this
yeah,
in countless
100
videos.
times, yeah.
But Ryan Gosling, he is him currently.
He is him currently, of course, yes.
And then Russell Crowe, probably one of his last great roles. Now he's just hamming it up. And
Well, we haven't seen Craven yet.
true, and we haven't seen the other Exorcist movie.
Days in 2 in like a year.
The Nice Guys rules. Again, a movie I will, much like the other Shane Black movie, is just, hey, you should check this out. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, just guys being dudes.
And it's a period piece, which makes it even a little bit more fun.
Yeah.
And Ryan Gosling is just like unstoppable.
He steals it.
Yeah.
He's absolutely
He's
steals
just
it.
so good, and I think this is what The Fall Guy is too. Is like a dude who is like you would like rely on him, but turns out to just be a mess.
Yeah.
And just cannot pull himself together.
And there should be 3 sequels by now.
Yeah.
And that upsets me that it's never been made.
You know what's to blame? He just said it. I can't remember what movie came out the same week.
Angry Birds.
Angry Birds.
Angry
That's
Birds.
right.
Let's stay on the Ryan Gosling train.
Okay.
For number 3, La La Land.
Ooh, what a
Damien
year.
Chazelle, guess what? He did a jazz movie again.
Surprise!
But this one almost won the Oscar.
Yeah.
Well, he won Best Director, and
Yes,
there's
yeah,
the whole controversy. It's hilarious. An insanely well-directed movie.
Yes,
Like
I
that's
agree.
the star of this movie, is just the insane camera moves they pulled off. Watch the behind the scenes of this film. Like, it'll blow your mind. They did like old school Hollywood stuff.
And they shut down the freeway to do a dance number, opening dance number.
Solid dance.
The
solid
dance-
song.
The dance they have in the middle of the movie is really great.
Yeah.
As like the moonlight's coming in and everything. It's just, it's a Hollywood movie. It's a love letter to Hollywood. It's a love letter to jazz, because everything Damien does is a love letter
Gotta
to
be
jazz.
jazz. Yep.
This is obviously the movie that he's like, when he was like, I'm gonna make movies. This is he's like, that's the one. And now he's kind of like, what am I doing? I still love jazz.
Yes.
Must love jazz. It also falls victim to just insane ridicule and hate, like right after it comes, it hits big, and everyone's like,
Like La La
It's
Land.
it's so weird, because
Weird.
Emma Stone. It's probably one of Emma Stone's better performances,
Yeah.
and she has a lot.
Mhm.
But the conviction she plays this role, and also the heartbreak her character feels, not only from Ryan Gosling's character, but her like
Career.
career. It is just wonderful, and a lot of great acting this year.
well, I will say, you know what? The worst part about La La Land,
What's that?
I think it's the John Legend song.
But isn't that on purpose? Like it's
I don't
supposed to be
know.
bad on purpose.
But it's almost too bad.
Number 2, we have Arrival. Denis.
This is a big empty space in my filmography.
Yeah, this is, I'll tell you right now, if you have Arrival on your watch list and you've been putting it off for a long time, I will tell you straight up, you got to put your iPhone away.
Yeah.
You got to put your phone away, or you will be lost.
Yeah.
This is not an easy movie to watch, because it's about aliens trying to communicate, but it's bigger than that.
Yeah.
But that's the main plot. But the way they communicate is so difficult to understand, and the way Denis is telling the story is so difficult to understand. It's like Interstellar, but if Interstellar made an Interstellar movie.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Like if it became sentient and directed its own movie, that's what Arrival would be.
It serves multiple viewings, like it's really good, but like when your first watch, you think you know what's going on, and then it's just like he pulls this magic trick on you, and it's an old magic trick. It's an old Hollywood magic trick that when you study film, you know, like when you look back, you're like, dang,
he got me.
I was right in the class, and I like, but it's good. It's emotional. It maybe is Jeremy Renner's best movie. I mean, well, I don't know. The Town does exist, but it is, to me, it is one of Denis' best movies, just because the visuals of it, they are so big, but also so simplistic. And I love a good, like, look at this massive spaceship in a field, but also it's not too spaceshipy. And here's some of the alien, not all of the alien.
Yes.
It's so good. And like Forrest Whitaker, right?
Forrest Whitaker,
is great. It's just, please go see this movie. I like bawled in the theaters watching it.
I'm ready.
Yeah, it was like 11 a.m. and I was surrounded by old people, and it was just like, I could not hold myself together.
And then number 1, we got Moonlight. I don't see how this wouldn't be number 1.
Yeah,
we've talked about it a lot.
Most of these on the list we talk about constantly.
This is in my top 5 movies of all time, so I could talk about it forever. But what Barry Jenkins does here tells a story in 3 parts about a dude just like trying to figure out who he is, and he can't figure it out. Yeah. There's obviously his mom, which I connect to a lot, but also there is just like him being gay and struggling to accept that within himself. But then you get Mahershala Ali just accepting him as the kid that he is, and like basically becoming his dad. And it's just like, oh man, again, we could talk about this for hours. We have talked about it. Yeah. We're going to talk about it more.
It's arguably one of the best dramas ever made.
Like, the cinematography is amazing. The moonlight shots, obviously, of course, I mean, that's the reason why the movie's called this. But Barry Jenkins puts part of his own like life story into the movie as well. It's based on a short story. Just great. I love it so much.
It did then win Best Picture.
In dramatic fashion.
Almost did not.
Despite Warren Beatty being handed the wrong envelope.
Nope.
I didn't watch it whenever the Oscar shenanigans happened. And because I was on Team La La Land just because I didn't see Moonlight, and then I watched it afterwards. I was like, oh yeah, of course, like, that should win. Yeah.
You know what? Movies,
they're pretty cool.
They're good.
Yeah, I like them.
Good and cool.
I enjoy them a lot.
If we did a best Oscar winner movie like list, I think Moonlight has a good chance at being
that's crazy.
The best one.
Crash is right there for me.
Yeah.